We are Anka. Stay tuned for updated real news.
Hello, Anka Daily News viewers. How are you? I hope you're all healthy and well. As the Anka Daily News team, we continue to convey to you the most critical moments of the war. Developments on the front are not limited to changes on the map. Strategic moves, sudden raids, and surprise attacks are among the most important factors determining the course of the war. However, what's happened in recent days can radically change the course of the war. The Russian army has once again suffered a major blow in the face of Ukraine's resistance. The planned attacks didn't go as expected. Heavy losses were suffered, and one of Putin's trusted figures in the field was captured by Ukrainian troops. As things are getting more and more complicated for Moscow, these failures on the ground are directly reflected in the Kremlin's domestic politics. In recent days, Putin's expression of satisfaction seems to have been replaced by deep concern. So, how did this unexpected move by Ukraine come about? How were the strategic plans of the Russian army disrupted? And most importantly, how will these developments affect the overall course of the war? In the coming minutes, we'll analyze in detail the behind the scenes of these critical events. What impact did Russia's heavy losses on the ground have on Moscow? What will Putin do in the face of these new developments? We'll discuss all of these in detail in a moment. But before we get to our report, a quick reminder. The Anka Daily News team is completely real. Neither me nor any of my teammates are artificial intelligence. Even though AI is very advanced, it's still not as good as us. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss our daily reports and explanations. We do read all the comments you leave on our videos, so please continue to share your ideas about our content. Tell us in the comments what content you'd like to see on the Anka Daily News channel. And now let us begin if you're ready. Anka Daily News reports. The war between Russia and Ukraine has entered a new phase. The Russian army, which greatly increased its attacks in March, continues to suffer heavy losses on the Eastern Front. While peace talks are underway in Saudi Arabia with US officials, the Kremlin's escalation of its aggressive behavior points to a protracted war. However, the realities on the ground aren't progressing as Russia would like. Ukrainian troops have made significant gains by inflicting heavy blows on the Russian army. One of the latest developments was the successful operation carried out by Ukraine in the Donetsk region. The 12th Azov Special Forces Brigade has captured a Russian commander and 19 soldiers after fierce clashes near Toretsk. According to open-source intelligence groups, Russian attacks in March increased by 17% compared to February, and the number of daily attacks exceeded 200, the highest level since the beginning of 2025. However, these attacks didn't enable the Russian army to gain the upper hand, but caused further losses. Intense clashes are taking place, especially on the Kupiansk, Limansk and Pokrovsk and, of course, Kursk fronts. The Ukrainian army is not only repelling the Russian attacks, but also achieving significant successes with counterattacks. According to the 12th Azov Special Forces Brigade, the captured soldiers were lucky to survive. However, the lifeless bodies of many Russian soldiers still lie on the battlefield. Here is what the Azov Brigade shared on its Telegram channel. Enemy soldiers are lying dead in agricultural lands and plantations after their unsuccessful attacks. The identity of the captured Russian commander also became clear in a short time. The officer, who introduced himself as Alexei Vadimovich Anikiev, stated that he was born on the 4th of March 1998 and came from Irkutsk, Siberia. In the footage recorded by Ukrainian soldiers, Anikiv is heard saying, "We soldiers of the Russian Federation are being held captive by the Ukrainian army and asking to be exchanged for fighters of the Azov Brigade of the Ukrainian National Guard." Following this operation, Ukrainian troops repelled another major Russian offensive in the Donetsk region. Despite intense artillery, shelling and air support, the Russian army failed to advance and suffered heavy losses. The Ukrainian army's counterattacks forced the Russian troops to retreat. On the other hand, while Russia's efforts to change the course of the war have failed, it's been observed that the Kremlin is also facing serious problems at home. While the increasing losses have led to serious concerns in Moscow, the morale of the Russian army is reported to be gradually declining. In particular, the lack of coordination among the military units and logistical problems further increases Russia's failures in the field. The military support provided to Ukraine by the United States and European countries is also making Russia's task more difficult. Long-range weapons systems and modern ammunition from Western countries are strengthening the Ukrainian army's defenses while severely limiting Russia's ability to advance. It's becoming clearer that the Kremlin's current offensive strategy is failing. Recent developments show that the course of the war continues to shift in favor of Ukraine. Although the Russian army stepped up its offensive in March, it failed to achieve the desired results and continued to suffer heavy losses. Ukraine's victory in Donetsk and the captured Russian commander reveals how difficult a situation Putin's army is in. Although Russia has increased its attacks on the Eastern Front, it has suffered serious losses in the field, indicating that there have been significant changes throughout the war in favor of Ukraine. The latest developments in Donetsk reveal that the Ukrainian army has gained the upper hand and has left the Russian troops in a difficult situation. The successful operation of the 12th Azov Special Forces Brigade is not only a tactical victory, but also a concrete proof of the lack of coordination and moral collapse of the Russian army. In particular, the images of prisoners of war and Russian soldiers left in the field are among the elements that collapse the Kremlin's propaganda rhetoric. It's observed that Ukraine is gradually weakening the combat capacity of the Russian army with such operations. The statements of the captured Russian commander also reveal the psychological impact of the war on Russian soldiers. This situation shows how the Moscow administration is under pressure at home and how the impact of the war on the Russian society is gradually increasing. On the other hand, the advanced weapon systems and ammunition support provided by the West to Ukraine are seriously affecting the dynamics of the war. While long-range weapons limit the mobility of the Russian army, they give the Ukrainian army a strategic advantage. It has become clear that the Kremlin's current offensive strategy has failed. However, it's not yet clear how Russia will respond. One of the most important factors that could change the course of the war will be Russia's domestic, political and economic developments. The Putin administration has become the focus of criticism due to increasing military losses and failed operations. As the Russian people begin to feel the cost of the war, the Kremlin may feel more pressure from within. What do you think? What will Russia do against Ukraine's growing military capacity? Will the Kremlin continue its aggressive behavior, risking a protracted war, or will it start looking for a way out? Do you think Ukraine can continue to repel these attacks and force the Russian army to withdraw completely? Let us know in the comments. We read and care about your points of view.